Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Dan Andersson in the Oxford office wishing you a hearty welcome on this week's Global Associate Meeting. So we're on the 5th of March. We're in that time of year when we're battling with snowstorms and cold weather in the UK, when we think that we should be having spring. But just come back from a trip to Nepal, which I'll tell you more about later, which was probably a lifestyle, a life event experience for me. I'm kind of a sailor, and I'm kind of a guy who likes the ocean. So mountains has kind of never really made it onto my bucket list, but went to Nepal for an executive trip and come back, and I am totally inspired because we took 20 of our executives, some number like that, to the top of the world. So the business is in great shape at the moment. We got some recognition to do. We got some old friends of business who've gone to director level positions. We got some enhancements on the directors program we're going to talk about. We got Leo Gold, DMS. What's going on in the news, and there's big things happening in the news. Some events, not just a few events, but many events, and some public notices. Me here is going to join us later to talk about the DMS and the crypto space. But the first job of the day is to give some recognition to a gentleman who is working out of the UK market, Mr. Amir Balas, who is building business in so many different places. I've met his team in Germany, coming there from Switzerland and Austria, and he's doing great things in Pakistan as well. And he's got scores and scores of countries in his downline already. And he has gone director. So well done, Amir. I'm very, very proud to know you and work with you, because your road with Leo has not been an easy journey necessarily, but I've always had a lot of respect for your integrity and your human spirit, and in some ways some of the conversations that we've shared over time has inspired me in many different directions, not least the fact that he shared some critical personal stories about his relationship with gold and saving gold back in the day when we were just formulating the Leo Gold stuff. So all power to you, and this is just the first step of your journey. We also have a new national marketing director out of the Dubai region, Mr. Muhammad Shafiq, and he has been with us right from the very start. A fantastic gentleman, hard-working guy, and of course, national marketing director is two steps up from director, so it's not an insignificant position. And of course, the cash award there is very handsome. Again, a leader of leaders, but also a really nice guy. When I was told that he achieved this position, I actually got on the phone with him straight away and I had a chat, and it's just refreshing and nice to have nice people in our business, because I think that we've got a bit of a filter going on where we're filtering out the bad people and just keeping the good and the cream, and we're seeing a lot of new people join our business that resonate with what we're trying to achieve, and that's not just greed and short-term thinking and money, but we're trying to do bigger things, and Mohammed Shafiq, he resonates with that as well, and his team respects him and his upline respects him, and he's kind of just one of those guys. So congratulations to you. Now, the directors program, we have thrashed and gone on about the directors program for a long time, and this was a program where we wanted to kind of lend some weight and credence or credibility to the director position, because this is where you've created a significant business with Leo, and you have teams of people that you're working with, and in one way, the director position is kind of the first place where we say that you're a director, in the sense that you have one foot in the field, of course, because you're building a network, but you're also starting to take on responsibilities, and we treat you in that way, so that in a sense you're part of the company as well. So we've made an enhancement to the director program, because we wanted to make sure that as many directors as possible could qualify for something. And this is for directors in good standing, directors that are working. It's been missold, the director program, a bit in the past, where some of our markets got a little bit carried away with the expectations that they were painting, saying that this was a salary for life, and you're going to get this money and you never have to do anything again. No, you still have to have a business. We're still working a meritocracy. We're still working a business where you have to do work in order to earn commissions. But what we wanted to do was just stretch it down, because we recognize that it's not a smooth journey being an entrepreneur in the world today, and sometimes things go up and sometimes things go down. So we've split it up so that if you reach a network bonus monthly of 2,000, you get a number. If you get 3,000 network bonus over the same month, then you get a little bit higher, and 4,000 is the level where you get the full bonus. And this will open it up to a lot of people who have joined us for a long time ago and have a director position that sort of is just standing on one leg, for instance. So the network bonus requires you to have 2 legs. So this is a way for us to make it a little bit fair. And of course, for the first 6 months of 2018, existing directors will also get this. So this is a discretionary bonus where you have to be a director in good standing. We're not going to give the director bonus to people who are working multiple deals and using their Leo connections to build another deal in another company. So this is discretionary in that sense, that you have to be working. You have to need some support. This directors program is to help you with the costs of building and running your business on a local or global level. So it's administered from the hub offices. So any director that wants to qualify for this has to sign a contract to join the scheme, and there are terms and conditions that apply, and nothing onerous, but it's kind of just in the interest of fair play. We want to make sure that people don't take advantage. So very, very cool though, because this is something that you don't see in the industry very much, where we sort of invite directors into the fold and start to treat them as the leaders that they are. So that we can lock them in and tie them in as they develop the business going forward to the next level. Our core value, if you like, is that the members are the heart of our business, and that means that when people get to director, these are people that we want to tie ourselves in with, lock ourselves in with, and treat as partners in this program, because we recognize that our success comes from outside. While all of this is going on, we are still working very, very hard on launching gold. We're starting to get more and more a sense that people are understanding where we're coming from with this, and as you know, as we go forward, we're going to make connections between gold and crypto, and so it's a very, very key part of our program, because the ultimate conclusion of the gold program will be into the Leo banking program as well. We're going to be building on the savings products on a monthly basis that ordinary folk should diversify, and they should save money for the future. Something that is in the crazy topsy-turvy times that we're living in today, not necessarily a current philosophy in the world. It seems to be that most of the economies are driving on a crazy attempt to sort of just drive their business and their economy on borrowings and printing of new money and quantitative easing and what have you. But we're saying no, there's an old-fashioned value called saving. And you should be saving for your family. You should have some gold, you should have crypto, you should have fiat, you should have property. And gold sits right in this space where we have, on the one hand, really dynamic stuff called cryptocurrencies and digital currencies out there. But gold resonates and creates value throughout human history as a stability choice, as a way to beat volatility and gain over the long term. Now, we are working with the Royal Mint here, so there's very strict legal requirements for how we do our business, and one of those requirements is the KYC. We can't get away from that. We have to know who our customers are, and the Royal Mint have to have a separate KYC done for the people that want to be participating in gold deliveries. It's a legal requirement, nothing that we can do about it, and we're quite proud to be doing that. The other thing that is going on, we're working very, very hard now on to get the first limited edition gold coin into your hands. This is a collector's item where we will print a small number of this limited edition coin, and then we will break the molds, and it'll no longer be available. So once these coins are created, they will never be done again. And this will be revealed fully at the Global Annual Conference in Mauritius. So that'll be the first time that you see it. You can buy any gold pack to qualify for them. For the Leo Gold Compensation Plan, you have to be in the gold program to participate. And take your time, do your research, but you'll see why this is such an exciting prospect for our direct selling business, because it's kind of the ultimate product. And the idea that you can sell gold at market value and earn a commission on it is extraordinary when you look at the auto save products. So the possibilities for gold are endless. Stay and keep looking at this space, because we've taken 3-6 months now to get ready, and we are really getting ready. And you'll see that this will complete the circle of Leo. Leo coin, Leo entrepreneurship training, all of this in some way connects and touches with gold, and very, very important part of how I see the future here. Like I say, this rolls into crypto, it rolls into the banking program, so it's going to be a very, very frothy place. Now, I've got me here coming into the office to talk to you a little bit about the DMS, because we've just done our second month of DMS delivery, and we're very, very pleased with how our originally modeling is actually working out in practice. As you'll recall, you're purchasing a hash power participation in hardware that we acquire and establish for you. And the way things are looking at the moment is looking like we are going to become the #1 mining operation on UK soil in a very short period of time in the near future. And we've kind of come across this thing that just scales extremely well, and it's very exciting days. We're dealing with absolutely extraordinary logistics, and just getting electricity supply into some of the properties that we've acquired is extraordinarily challenging, but it is what it is, and we're doing extremely well. But the early modeling has worked well, and we're seeing a delivery against that is nothing short of inspirational. Now, I'll hand the microphone over to me here, but let him answer the question that I'm going to pose from all of you. How do you feel that DMS is going?
I'm incredibly positive about the digital market service. It really has worked out. Now, all of you know that we try and be conservative. We're very, very cautious in our estimates and our promise. We always like to under-promise and over-deliver, which is a good philosophy for life. But we've been very, very impressed with how the product has worked in just its first 2 months, and what that might say for the future of this product. We've also been inspired by some of the energy that all of you have been feeling about this product, and certainly on the Nepal trip recently, it was lots of fun to see how excited people were about the digital market service.
Eric from the Philippines was fantastic, and he kept saying DMS, DMS.
The room would go quiet, and then every so often you just hear Eric shouting DMS from the back of the but it was wonderful.
So then our original promise was 100 to 300.
Yeah, well, our estimate, yeah, which could be above that, could be below that.
Yeah. But now that we aggregate the 2 months and split the difference in 2, we've actually over the 300.
Yeah, I mean, so the month 1 was £352 at the time, and month 2 last week was £277, which sees us in the 600 and a touch.
Yeah. So over 300.
Well over 300 a month.
Yeah.
And what's really cool about this product is that the price that the Bitcoin was when all of you received the reward is lower than the price of Bitcoin right now. So the Bitcoin you received has gone up, and it was already a very, very good reward. So we're very, very pleased with how that's worked out, because if we look at the next slide, there's some great things happening in the Bitcoin market. As you know, it's a volatile market. It goes up very quickly, it goes down. It's unpredictable and can be nerve-wracking for some people. But if you think about it generally, there's sort of 3 things that can happen. The price of Bitcoin can go up, the price of Bitcoin can go down, or the price of Bitcoin can stay the same. With a digital market service, you're protected from lots of that volatility. If the price goes up, then good for you. Your rewards are worth more and more every single day. If the price stays the same, then you're just as happy, because guess what? We've got some pretty good rewards coming out, and our estimates are fairly solid, and it seems to be working so far. And if the price goes down, then yeah, sure. If you haven't sold your Bitcoin yet, that will be worth less. But the next month and the next month and the next month after that, all that will happen is you'll just get more Bitcoin than you would have otherwise got. So you benefit when it goes up, you benefit when it stays the same, and you benefit when even when the price goes down. This is an incredibly good product that allows people to dip their toe, to start their journey into digital currency, whilst protecting them from the thing that's probably holding them back, which would be the volatility. And I don't know where things go in the future. Maybe people are talking about $25,000, $50,000 this year for one Bitcoin. Who knows? But it's certainly a very frothy space to be sitting in right now. And we're very, very pleased, certainly, with the way the first couple of months are going. And if you look on the graph there, in January, when the reward was given, the price of Bitcoin was $10,500. In February, it was $11,100.
With a great dip in the middle.
Yeah, with a dip in the middle that did not matter to Leo members one bit, because guess what? They got their reward at the end of the month and at the end of the month. The dip in the middle didn't affect anything. And then today, the price is now at 11,560. So that's just the Bitcoin price. I mean, obviously there'd be more graphs with Ethereum, but if we just look at Bitcoin, it's an incredibly frothy and exciting place to be in. It's working and working and working some more. Now, it's an incredibly complex product to deliver, but fortunately, again, for our customers and our members, that complexity doesn't matter because it's a hugely simple product for them to understand and a hugely simple product for them to build their businesses with.
Have you got any update on the actual payment of the second thing? We've had some technical challenges with the amount of things going into wallets and stuff.
Yes, indeed. So on the 28th, which is when I think the reward was allocated, we allocated the 277 reward. I think on the Thursday, it started to hit people's back offices, and there was some sort of bug in the system that meant it went to too many people's back offices. And so
you thought they'd won the lottery.
Yeah, who were very, very pleased with themselves for a few hours on the Thursday. But obviously, well, life's wonderful, but it's not that great. And so obviously on the Friday, when we caught the error, we reversed those rewards that should not have been paid. But yeah, no one who should have got the reward missed out, and no one who shouldn't have got the reward got it. And special thanks to some of our members who quickly contacted us on the Thursday to say that they'd been given a reward and they really shouldn't have been, and so we needed to double check something, because that gave us early sight of something we were modeling at the time, just to double check.
And now between finance and operations, they're working on actually paying out to the withdrawal requests that we got in for the getting them into the wallet. Yes,
indeed. So as you all know, when we originally planned this product out, the first reward was only to be due in February. And because we got the machines in early, because things moved faster than we thought, we were able to pay out the reward in January. Now, this meant the actual transfer from back office to wallet was a manual process, which took a few days. We're still catching up on the IT there, so the reward this month is also manual. So it's taking a few days still. But our expectation is that by the end of March, we'll have an automated withdrawal process. That means it'll hit your back office. If you have your wallet linked, it will reward out to your external wallet instantly. So it's a bit of a tedious process these 2 months, but that's part of the price we pay for being quick to market and being quick off the start. Having said that, none of you should really be worrying too much about a delay in the withdrawals from February to now, because the price has gone up. So all we did is stop you selling too early. So I mean, it wasn't our intention, but you're welcome. I'm joking, of course. But yeah, the rewards are hitting external wallets as we speak, and so you should be getting yours in the next couple of days at the latest.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, very, very pleased with the digital market service. Always inspired by the reaction of our members, and I can see lots of people down here with their questions and their support. Lovely. And yeah, really excited about how that has become a sort of a new part of the business and helping everyone talk to anyone, because there's no one you can't pitch with this, and it's very, very powerful.
Anything else going on in the crypto space with our APPGs and stuff? And
yes, so we are moving forward apace with our efforts to influence the future of the world, influence the future digital currency world. We take seriously our responsibility to make sure that future regulation, future government policy, future there's a network connection issue, but hopefully you can still hear me. There we are, I'm back. Future government policy, future regulation, future media articles really reflect the sort of world that we want to build, really sympathetic to our view of what good looks like in the future of the digital currency sector. And so that's what we're working on. We've got more and more MPs and members of the British Parliament and members of the House of Lords coming to speak at our committee that we're setting up. They're keen to work with us, and there's going to be a lot more news on that just next week, which we can talk about on the Monday call.
Okay.
And yes, we'll watch the space on that. Additionally, on LeoCoin, we've released a new mobile wallet for you, which is a fairly solid wallet. We've had a lot of positive feedback on it. One of the great features of it is you can download it on your phone, on your Kindle, on your Android device or your iPhone device.
Not Kindle, surely not Kindle.
Not the e-reader, the Kindle tablets.
Oh, okay.
That they have, and it's the same wallet across all of them. So the wallets are linked between devices, which makes it even easier to.
Well, so I do something on my phone,
Yeah,
and I open my desktop wallet, and I see the transaction there.
it's the same LeoCoin Elite wallet. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Which is very cool.
because you get Android desktops as well. So you could download the Elite wallet on your Android desktop, and that might be where you organize your funds, and then you can use them on your phone wallet, which is a great way of doing it. And sort of the next step in convenience. There's lots of new wallets coming out. There's lots of new features to add, but this is quite an important one that we're happy to support. And we've got more and more plans for the Elite wallet as we develop it.
Lots of bug fixes, or how has it been?
Yeah, it seems to be working fairly well. We had as with any software product, there's going to be bugs and issues and quibbles, and it works on this phone but not that phone. And some people have very old phones from 2012, 13.
No one's got a phone from 2012.
They really do. They really do. And guess what? This doesn't work on 5-year-old phones, which is obviously annoying if you have a 5-year-old phone. But yeah, I know. It's time to upgrade, really. But so there's a couple of issues there, but in the main, we've had very good feedback. And as long as you're using it for a simple transaction between two people, it works. It works, and it links with all your device. If you try and do fancy multi-signature key things and try and dance around the features, you may encounter a bug. But fundamentally, it does work fairly well. So happy that's working too. And with that, I shall. Oh, okay. In the news, yes, startup business.
I didn't know any. I was doing the Chinese webinar just before, and this thing came up, and I said I should know about this, but I don't know anything about this. I made something up for the Chinese. Can you tell me what this is really about?
So we have a superb relationship with the DSAs that we are members of. We work very closely with them, and so this wasn't a piece that we pursued. This wasn't even a piece that came to us. This is a magazine talking to the UK DSA, asking for a forward-thinking, innovative company doing things in the right way, and they thought of Leo.
Right, the DSA nominated us.
The UK DSA were asked to think of any member company they had who would fit the I generation, the internet age, the people, the millennials who are excited about technology and new things. And of all of the companies, bear in mind of including Amway and Herbalife, of
no skincare company, no nutritional supplement.
Exactly. Nothing about vitamins here. Nothing about the latest aloe vera for your
which are all
feet,
worthy products.
Which are lovely products. Not ones that I use, but lovely products. And but no, the DSA was asked to think of any company who was a member of theirs to nominate for this article about the future, and they chose us, which is invaluable. Because as we used to say in my old PR days, there's nothing more valuable than third-party endorsement. It's the idea that someone has the opportunity to think of anyone in the world who they want to think of, and they think of you and your brand. And that's a great position for us to be in. And it's an outcome of lots of soft meetings, lots of work, lots of relationship building, and great work on our latest batch of products, our latest pitches, our latest events that we do. We are pitching ourselves in the right way. And it seems to be working because this unprompted, unforced mention by them and decision by them to include us.
And they're focused on our product or
exactly.
e-learning.
Exactly, it's an e-learning. It's an e-learning article. Learning on your computer, learning over the internet. It's an article about some of the core beliefs and the core values of Leo as part of that as well. And so we're very gratified they chose us, and we've always liked to work with our local DSA, and it seems to be a reciprocal mutually beneficial relationship. So we're very, very pleased with that.
And so seeing that you did such a good job of that slide that I didn't know anything about, you can do the next one as well.
Oh dear, this is where you're really testing me, aren't you? Oh great, it's a slide in Chinese. Yes, so as part of our e-learning platforms, we've been working with local Chinese press. Now, this obviously means as much to lots of you as it does to me, because it's in Chinese, as they say. And so what we did is we worked with the local Chinese media who wanted to talk about e-learning, wanted to talk about online courses, and we pitched in our story, we pitched in our piece, and they covered it, which is just fantastic. Oh, sorry, I've got a question. Be brave and deposits. No, we can't do that. Sorry. Oh, sorry. There's a question here about the iOS app. Now, the iOS app is not yet available on the Apple Store for LeoCoin Elite. The Android app is available on the Play Store, but the iOS app is directly downloadable from the leocoin.org site. Apple take a very, very long time to approve wallet apps. If you've looked at it, you'll notice that there's one Bitcoin or two Bitcoin apps, and I think one Ethereum app, and most of the other wallet apps have been discontinued there. But nonetheless, the iOS approval for a LeoCoin Elite wallet is a painful process. But yeah, so on that, unless there's another slide you wanted me to jump into.
No, you've done very well to help me there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, this is the problem with being CEO of a dynamic company that moves very, very fast, is I don't get informed about bloody anything that's going on sometimes, and the team kind of surprise and delight me. One, in terms of field development, I hear about a new market, and I hear about a new place where they want us to travel through, and it's kind of absolutely extraordinary to see the momentum that we've got in our field now. But exactly the same on the corporate side. Now, we have 107 full-time members of staff across 10 or 11, 12 offices. We have different divisions and different areas of the business. And of course, they're all working without me telling them what to do. So we kind of have a business and departments. And as CEO, I can only direct the core group of senior executives, if you like. And almost every day, I'm surprised and delighted by new things happening. So that's quite cool. I can fully understand how some of you out there in the marketplace who are sort of associated with us on a membership basis, if you like, you must also have the same sort of sense that there's an awful lot of things going on, which is again why this call every Monday is so important. But it catches even me by surprise, and I'm supposed to be the boss around here. So it is what it is, but it's kind of good news as well. So we try to communicate, we try to keep that going, we try to do this in 18 different languages. Not necessarily an easy task, but that's the sort of company we have to be in 2018. Dynamic, fast moving, covering new ground. And I had some meetings over the weekend that just fried my brain with potential that feeds into the Day 7 project and all sorts of things. So there's so many things going on, and it's kind of exciting. But I want to talk about Nepal. We had an executive trip that we were planning to do in Morocco, and then we got some scheduling issues with Chinese New Year, so we kind of lost a group of Chinese people that were supposed to come because they wanted to go and spend time with their family, which is absolutely fair enough. So we were going to go ahead with Morocco and pretty much practically do an all Dubai region event, and with the majority of people coming from Pakistan. And if you're from Pakistan on this call, I have to apologize for the image that you have in the world, because I said this the first time I went to Pakistan many years ago, that if I believed what I read in the papers, I would never travel there. And when I go there, I'm surprised and delighted with how wonderful your country is, and how warm the people are, and how genuine. The issue was that Pakistani people could not get a visa for Morocco for some random reason. That I mean, honestly, it's almost starting to piss me off, if I may speak plainly, because it's kind of weird and it's kind of unfair, but it is what it is. So on Monday, when I came into the office last Monday, a week ago, goodness, is that all it is? I said, well, we have to do something. let's look at a country where they can get visa upon entry into the country. And Nepal sort of leaped off the page of a very, very weird list of countries, but be that as it may, we decided to go ahead and do the executive trip in Nepal in, not in Timbuktu, I always say in Kathmandu. And what is cool about Kathmandu is that it's kind of in Nepal, obviously, but it's kind of at the foot of the Himalayas, and in particular, it's right next door to Mount Everest. So we thought this is a cool thing for our people, because what we can do for our executives, this emerging group of leaders, is we can take them to the top of the world and give them an experience that anyone can do. I mean, anyone can book a flight to go to Kathmandu, and anyone can get on a little airplane or a helicopter, and they can fly up to Mount Everest. And if they were really ambitious, they could even climb Mount Everest, because every year 150 people do. But we thought, if we could do this for our executive leaders and give them an experience that they may not do themselves, and it would never be prioritized to do, then every time in the future when they see Mount Everest, they'll think, Leo took me there. Every time they sort of think back on their big lifestyle experiences, they would think, Leo took me to Mount Everest. And it was like that. We chartered helicopters, and we actually flew up to the same height, the same area as the base camp for when you start to do the expedition up to the top of Mount Everest. And it requires, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of acclimatizing to the high altitude to get used to the lack of oxygen in the air. It's kind of a big thing, because Mount Everest is 8,800 meters tall, the tallest mountain on the planet. And up there, the air is thin and rarefied. We chartered 5 helicopters to fly the group up, 4 or 5 or 6 people in each helicopter, and you kind of go up the valleys following the riverbeds going up, so you get this great sense of scale, because I wouldn't say that we were sort of in a war film or anything like that, but it felt like a great adventurous thing. And the valleys go on and on and on, and gradually getting higher and higher and higher, and then you arrive at one place where they have to then rejig the petrol and deliver petrol for the stage of the journey that's coming. When we come down, we have to drop petrol off so we have a safe return. This was a small village that had a tiny little airstrip, and the airstrip was kind of like at a 30-degree angle, so it was like it had an incline and into a mountain face, and it was the shortest runway you've ever seen. And as we were there with helicopters having dropped us off to do the petrol thing, an airplane landed on the inclining runway, looking far too short, and you think, oh, they're going to smash into the wall, the face of the wall. Get up there, the incline slows the plane down, they turn a corner, do what they do, and then 10 minutes later they take off down the runway that is again too short, and the airplane leaps off the edge of the runway and just goes into open free fall. And it was like, OMG, it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And it's kind of like, you almost had to pinch yourself, because the sense of adventure was so extraordinary. The helicopter took us up another step, another stage, up to the highest village in that area, where there was a little restaurant and a little cafe where you could sort of sit surrounded by mountaintops, including Mount Everest. And then because the helicopters couldn't fly up with 5 people, because that would be too heavy for the airs being so thin, the oxygen levels and the atmosphere is kind of thinned out at that height. So they could only take 2 people at a time. And so we sent our photographer Stan up ahead, and he ended up sort of then waiting for the first helicopter with 2 people, took their photos, took a little video of them. They went back, the next 2 came, the next 2, the next 2, and in the end, bless him, he was there at this sort of 6,000 meter high, 6,500 meter high plateau, which is like a moon landscape, really thin atmosphere, getting dizzy. And by the time I got there, he was kind of drunk and really happy, but looking a little bit pale. So he took the pain, a one-man army, did the video, and when that video comes out, you will see what I'm talking about and why I am so excited here on this call, because we are going to do more executive trips in Nepal, and we're going to do more things of taking people to the top of the world, because this is something that we're not a travel company. We're not a company that we're into entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship training. But what we do for our entrepreneurs that are part of our member community is that we incentivize them by trips and travel around the world. So in the 5 years that Leo has been running, the 5 full years that we've been running since 2012, we've taken people to the Great Wall of China, to the pyramids in Egypt. We've been to Petra. We've gone to Hawaii. We've been in New York. We are constantly looking at new things, from Paris to Berlin to Athens, and we have done more travel than any travel companies out there, and taken our members to the most extraordinary places. And Nepal, Kathmandu, and Mount Everest is part of that landscape now. And we're planning for some extraordinary things around the directors program. Because what we want to do is take groups of directors, a little bit discretionary, because we want the hardest working people who are really in the gig, not the people who are sitting and kind of just collecting money. Why can't I say Easter Island? We want to take a group of directors to the Easter Islands as part of a thing that they again would not do for themselves. So we want to have a generation of entrepreneurs that will say, without Leo, I wouldn't have made it to Mount Everest. Leo took me to the Easter Islands. Leo took me to Cuba. Leo took me to Peru and all of these places. We are going to have that level of travel for our hard-working people as one of their rewards, apart from money and everything else that we do. So, as you can tell, I am incredibly excited about the trip to Nepal. I want to thank all the guys who kind of, to be honest, the executives that we had there, they were sort of saying, well, we were kind of looking forward to Morocco and weren't sure about this Nepal idea, because Nepal is a very poor country. Make no mistake, some of the best people I've ever met, and we went to temples and we stayed in a fantastic hotel. All of that was great, but it's kind of not a high-end travel destination, except for the high end of the Himalayas, for the high end of Mount Everest. And at the end of our executive, they said to me, this is a life-changing trip. I have seen something I never thought I would see. And I have to tell you, the group that we had there went back so inspired that I was just so proud of what we'd achieved. Now, we're doing many events out in the market, and the next one here on your screens now is me here going to do a fintech revolution in Manila, where we're doing a crypto expo. The local leaders there have discovered that education, surprise, education is the key to our business and to the digital currency space. People don't understand it, people are interested, they want to find out about it. So under the brand umbrella of Leo, we're educating people about what this space is all about and where it's going and what we see happening. On Saturday, the 24th of March, me here will be there. He's doing an absolutely incredible trip, starting in Morocco, going to Bombay in India, via Hong Kong, I think, and then ending up in Manila before he flies home. And he's kind of doing one day in each place. So he's kind of doing trips that are worthy of my memoirs, because I have had to do a few trips like that. So go on your back office, get the tickets. They'll be available very, very shortly there. And we're working with Rachel and Eric and the other Philippine leaders. So looking forward to hearing about that event. We are doing the Momentum Tour starting on the 7th of April, starting in Istanbul, Turkey. We're going to be there, the three of us, Dan, me here, and Andy. And there's a video about this on Leo TV that is one of the best videos we've ever produced. It's a really, really cool video that explains exactly what this is about. The Momentum Tour goes on to China and Hong Kong, where we're doing this cruise for our Asia Pacific members, people from the Philippines and from neighboring countries and China. Absolutely fantastic. Just 3 days, 2 nights on a fantastic cruise ship, and we are actually taking we're basically taking over the entire boat. We're not fully filling it up, but nearly. More than half the people on this boat will be Leo people, and very, very cool to be traveling with our members in that sense. You'll see some great stuff coming out of that. The Momentum goes on to Abidjan on the Ivory Coast on Saturday, the 26th of May. Very, very cool to be going back to Africa again. Looking forward to that, because I haven't been in the Ivory Coast for a long time, since we established our company and our operations over there. And going on to Yaoundé, Cameroon. This is a country that I went to recently, and I loved it. There's such positive people, such potential in Africa. So really excited about that. But of course, what we're all looking forward to at the end of that insane travel is the Mauritius, the Carnival event, our Mauritius incentive on the 4th of May to the 11th of May. And some of the team has been sharing with me some of the plans that we have. We're taking over this entire resort, as you know. We're branding it up. It'll be a Leo place. There'll be photo opportunities around every corner. We've pulled together a world-class speaking team for some of the trainings that we're doing. But basically, there's many families coming along, and children and kids and things. And this is kind of a holiday with a little bit of a work theme, a work conference going on as well. So very cool. Some of the announcements that are coming out of that will be taking our business to the next level, and you'll be very pleased that you are there. Just a few office notices that we are doing Tomb Sweeping Day in Hong Kong on the 5th of April. We're closing for Easter on the 30th to the 2nd. China also closes down the office over there. In Easter in the UK, we're closing from the 30th to the 2nd of April. And of course, British summer time starts on the 25th of March. And some of you are going to get very confused about your GAM timings there, but just try to cope. It means that the British time is changing, and therefore the GAM time will change as well. We're also finally getting around to improving the website architecture in terms of some of the software licensing and some of the software programs that we have on there. So we're upgrading the entire website, and that means that for the first time in 5 years, we're closing the website down for 8 hours, and this is now happening next Thursday, the 8th, or this Thursday, the 8th of March. We're basically, as it says on the screen there, we're enhancing the underlying technology of everything, of every single platform that we have, are getting more security, more scalability, and more performance improvement. So quite pleased about that. The IT team are getting ready, and I'm sure that they're sweating a little bit, but the website will be down from the 8th of March for 6 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock, those 8 hours there. UTC, I don't even know what time zone that is, but when you go on there and you can't get onto the website, that's why. So limited edition gold Leo coin collector's item is coming available. You need to get into the gold program to participate in the gold program. You have to be a product of the product, and that's very important. The digital marketing service is what's flying the business at the moment, and the events, buy your tickets, use your seminar tickets for you, your team, and your contacts in Canada, Turkey, and Africa, and in all the other locations as well. Building a global business, we're trying to give you the infrastructure and the framework to do that, but you have to do the work of speaking to the people. Otherwise, why? We couldn't compete with you. That's your job to market. So thank you very much indeed. You can tell in my voice that I'm very excited about where we are and where we're going. The business has never been in a stronger place. We have proper procedures. We have proper methodology. We're just getting better and better each day. We're on top of our business in a way that we've never been. And we have a stronger platform, we have stronger teams, we have stronger methodologies. We have a team that I'm just so proud of on the corporate side, one blue lion team, and it's very cool place right at the moment. So thank you so much for your support, thank you for your hard work, and I very much look forward to seeing you on one of the events around in the world, and all power to you, and the very best of luck. So this is Dan Andersson in Oxford saying thank you very much indeed for your kind attention.